Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 p.m. Tuesday, October 11th. Town board meeting is called to order. First item on our agenda will be a couple of public hearings first before we attend to the regular board meeting proceedings. First public hearing this evening, the Grand Rapids Town Board will conduct a public hearing for the application of Shane Rush, a request to rezone from agricultural to R2 residential, 40.75 acres, located in the southwest corner of 48th Street South and Griffith Avenue. Parcel number 0700988. Hearing is at 6 p.m. October 11th, 2016. Shane is here?
Yes.
There you are. Okay. The public hearing will be handled in this format. The first, I will ask anybody that wishes to speak against that. I will ask that 3 times. Then we'll switch over to asking those that are in favor of it for the same amount of time and for your questions. Anybody wishing to speak against the rezoning of the 40.75 acre parcel, southwest corner of 48th and Griffith? Yes, go ahead and state your name for the record, please.
My name is Marilyn Hendricks, and I live on 4321 Griffith Avenue, so I would be right across the street from that parcel. And I'd like to know what's actually going to happen to that parcel if it's changed to R2. Is there going to be apartments, low-income housing? What actually happens? I thought when I came here today, I thought I'd see a rendering or some information about that. I don't really know what R2 is going to do to that piece of land.
I guess that I could tell you right now that the board is just taking up the rezoning of this property. I know he is in the process of meeting with the Planning Commission, and he's developing a plot of the parcels. The Planning Commission has taken their initial look at it, right? And it's determined to be a residential development.
Is it, by residential, is it multi-unit or is it?
Houses or what?
I mean, why do we come here if we don't really know what's going to be put on that land yet?
Well, see, the cart's before the horse a little bit because this is just the rezoning of it. He has to go through like 3 or 4 steps before this. At least 2 more steps to the Planning Commission before it's approved, and then it'll come back to the town board for a drawing and a approval of the final plot of the parcel. So he's asking for a rezoning of this so that he can continue on to develop the plans for it.
It seems like by the time it's that far along.
It's going to go through.
Yeah.
I'd rather not rezone it.
Well, you gotta understand that the town board is going to have the final approval of all of this stuff, and there will be plenty of time to consider it. But I believe what was the lot size? What the number of lots, Patty? That was
47.
47 lots.
47 lots.
Yep, 47 single family.
Half-acre lots.
Single family homes.
Single family.
They will be single family homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Are you?
The developer.
You're not putting in HUD?
Ma'am, I just have to ask that we address the board only.
Oh,
And
Well, I didn't know what was.
That's
what they were
fine. I'm
putting in
just
there.
explaining that to you.
Single-family homes that won't bring down the value of the
understand.
subdivisions
yeah.
that are already developed on either side of it. You know, I'll wait until I see the renderings.
Sure. Anybody else wishing to speak against it?
I'll just say, I don't know.
Name for the record, please, sir.
Alan Ansorge. I live at 4210 Weston Drive, which is part of the subdivision just adjacent to this property. And I may not have found the proper references, but I may have, as to what the zoning R2 allows. And the one thing that concerned me in the R2 zoning is that, as I read it, it also would allow manufactured home subdivisions. Now, as far as I know, the developer is not into that, but we have an R1 zoning which allows for single and duplex buildings if the intent is to stick with that. And there's also an RS2 that I read, which is even more restrictive, but that doesn't allow duplexes. But my concern is the concept of having a manufactured home subdivision possible on that property. So yeah, I have an objection since we don't know any of the facts of what's going to take place in this.
Okay, duly noted that you're, at this time, your guess. Is that what you're saying, sir? Or were you just commenting?
No, he's
I'm
speaking
sorry, I
close
couldn't
to
hear
you.
you.
I'm sorry, did you say, I'm just confirming that. You say you are against the rezoning, is that what you're saying?
Based on the knowledge I have right now, yes,
Okay.
I would.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak against? Anybody else wish to speak against?
Well, I'm against it.
Name for the record, please, sir.
My name's Robert Anno. I live at 4321 Griffith Ave. That kitty corner, it's nice over there. And then you're gonna go put a bunch of houses in the kind of wrecked area. That's basically what it is. Then you're gonna, what, widen my road again and steal more of my land? I'm against it.
Okay. And I believe that was the last time I called, but I'll ask one more time just to be sure there isn't anybody else wish to speak. Is there anybody else wishing to speak against? Hearing none, we'll close that.
There is
part.
one.
I'm Sue Ansorge,
Please, your name for the record, please.
Susan Ansorge, and I too, until we know what the plan is for that property, would be against it. But I'm not against a single-family housing development by any means, but multi-family perhaps. I guess I'd like to see the plan before approving.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing? I guess we'll switch now to those wishing to speak in favor of it. Is there anybody out in the audience wishing to speak in favor of it?
Shane Roosh, I guess I'm here to speak in favor of it. It's I guess with the other meetings that I've had here, a single family residential development, I'm not in the market to sell lots and put trailer homes or anything of that sort on it. I'm looking for a subdivision that's going to have a great covenants, kind of like what Bill Miles did with Hunter's Ridge, and put not huge homes but not small homes, and just have a nice community and nice looking development, I guess, when I'm done with it, and hopefully nice homes for people to live in for a long time. So I'm definitely for the project. I think Grand Rapids, it'd be a great benefit to have a lot more lots in the community that are priced cheaper than $30,000, and I think there's a big need for people that are looking to build homes, in that 1,600 square foot market. So. But yeah, so I guess I'm in favor of it, and hopefully can move on with the progress and continue with it. So,
Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Yes, ma'am.
No, I would just like to ask Sean, I can't ask him a question?
You just gotta go through the board.
No,
Would you ask him then why he's going through R2 then? If he wants to build.
I can't actually answer that question because that doesn't pertain to the zoning, although it is R2 zoning, which is the residential zoning. And that's typically what all of our subdivisions are R2. I would assume your subdivision.
I'm not in the subdivision.
Okay, the Westland subdivision, all those others is likely all R2. That's the typical zoning that the town does for a development of lots.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else to speak in favor? Mr. Head?
My name's Ron Head. I live at 2521 Blueberry Lane. Based on what Shane said and what I know about the R2 developments that we have, I think this is a plus for the community, and I'm in favor of it.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak in favor? Last time, anybody else wish to speak in favor? If not, I'll close this part of the public hearing. And then we'll address the issue in the next part of the meeting. Second public hearing tonight Oak Creek Properties LLC, 1210 80th Street South, request to rezone from agriculture to R2 residential, 2 20-acre parcels. The first 20-acre parcel, 0700782A, located in the east one half of the northeast/northwest quarter of Section 27. And the second 20-acre parcel, 0700787A, located in the east one half of the southeast northwest quarter of Section 27. The hearing is taking place at 6 p.m. Or thereabouts, October 11th. And again, anybody wishing to speak against this rezoning from agricultural to R2 residential? Anybody here wish to speak against? Third and final time, anybody wish to speak against? Hearing none, we'll move to those that wish to speak in favor of the rezoning from agricultural to R2 residential, the 2 20-acre parcels. Anybody wish to speak in favor? Mr. Bone?
Okay, I am one of the owners. The other owners are my 3 sons, and we purchased this piece of property to develop it, and same thing, it's going to be the R2 rezoning that we're requesting, just to do single-family homes on it, and our intentions are to, right now we've got a few lots that are plotted off at 1 acre, and then we're going to see what the market goes, and maybe the rest of it probably are going to be 3 to 6 acre lots, just give people the option of having a little acreage in the town, and so they'll just be marketed that way, and so.
Anybody else wish to speak in favor? Anybody else wish to speak in favor? I'll close the public hearing. And we'll move to our regular agenda items. If you care to rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 2, approve the agenda for the meeting. Any changes? Hearing none. Item 3, approve minutes from 9/13/16 town board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 13th, 2016 meeting.
Motion Kathy, second Patty. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? Item 4 is our public comment period. People wishing to address the board, limited to 2 minutes each, with a public comment period not to exceed 30 minutes in length. Anybody wish to speak to the board on any topics this evening? Go ahead, Mr. Ed.
Ron Hett again. I'm particularly interested in item number 12 there, and hoping I could hear an explanation when you get to that one.
Sure can.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak to the board? If not, we'll move to the next agenda item, which is item number 5, monthly reports from the departments. First on the agenda, Mr. Chief Don Bowen, Fire Department and Safety Department.
Good evening, board, citizens, people in the public. Since I last spoke before you, the fire department's had 44 calls for service, 32 EMS calls assisting the United Ambulance. We have had 1 mailbox fired, which obviously was intentional. It's amazing some of the things we get called out for. But we have 3 motor vehicle accidents, 1 burning complaint, 2 vehicle fires. Twice we were called out to set up landing zones for the Spirit helicopter in relation to some of the 1050s that we were involved in. 1 wildland fire that got away from a guy making a food plot for his deer. And we did have a structure fire out in the town of Grant, that was a vacant property that was out there. It obviously
was intentionally set. So I guess anybody in the public that has any knowledge of a house in the vicinity of 130th and Kellner Road, it was abandoned property, but I guess it's still the same responses taken, the same risks are put before the fire department to deal with that. And hopefully we can come to some resolve somewhere where somebody will be convicted of the obvious arson of that property. Portage County Sheriff's Department is investigating it. There will probably be a Crime Stoppers advertisement created for it. So I guess even though it's an abandoned property, it's still owned and it's still the same consequences. So, but we do have the evidence we need to know that it was intentionally set. And then we did have a mutual aid call up to the Biron Mill. The mill staff did have the fire under control, and the fire departments were canceled shortly, but we did respond up to the Village of Biron to assist them. Training again, we're working again with United Ambulance on our first responder squad with our medical training. We've done some practice out in our town's 40 with preparation of deer season, our hunters, things like that tend to fall out of the trees, so we're doing some practice retrieving people out of the woods area and stuff. We have our 6-wheel vehicle that we have that we can get access back in the woods and stuff, so the crew was doing some training on that, and I believe we're going to be doing that again this month. Fire, we're going to be doing our emergency vehicle operation training to refresh all the young and the old on the proper methods for driving the emergency vehicles. It is Fire Prevention Week, for those who don't know, so I guess we're encouraging people to be fire safe. The fire department has been at numerous daycares, the elementary schools and things of that nature throughout last week, this week, and falling into next week. So it's still fun to get out and teach the kids everything from the 4K to the 2nd grade that we go out and speak with those children. We actually try to educate the parents, the chaperones and stuff that come with them, and just general fire safety, and hopefully we can prevent some injuries in the future. Fires are down, and hopefully it's attending, comes from an active fire prevention program. We don't have the children issues and stuff that we seem like we had in the past, so hopefully we're getting their messages through to the youth and people, and keeping them safer. So. Other than that, we've had our normal training meetings and our business meetings and stuff like we have every month. So we will be attending our fire inspector conference down in the Dells next week. We do have quite a few people, or 4 people going down to that for our training, our annual training on doing the fire prevention inspections that we do of all the commercial properties throughout the town. So. Be the extent of it.
Any questions of the chief? Seeing none, if you want to go to the safety report, is it good?
Safety's been good. Nothing to speak of. We haven't had any dog bites or anything of that nature, so things are going good. Like I say, the crews are out on the roads working and stuff, and I guess when you see the road crews working alongside the road, I say cut them some slack, give them a little room to work, and things of that nature. I know with the winter season coming and stuff, driving and the road crew gets a little more active. So, but everything's going good, and we're looking at some enhancements to our safety program in the future.
Okay, any questions of the chief on the safety? If not, thank you very much, sir. Chief Mal Peterson, the police department. Would you please take the podium?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, for this month of September, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 440 calls for service, and that compared to 329 calls for service in September of last year. That's a 34% increase in calls, and the board members should have a breakdown of those calls. Now that we're at the end of the third quarter for 2016, looking at the numbers there, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 3,782 calls for service this year, and that compares to 3,427 calls for service during the same time frame last year. That's about a 10% increase from last year. The police department issued 13 written warnings, 3 municipal ordinance citations, and 24 traffic citations during the month of September. On September 6th, I attended a meeting at Aspirus Riverview Hospital in Wisconsin Rapids, and the purpose of this meeting was to discuss Chapter 51 emergency detention policies and procedures and expectations between ER staff, police, crisis intervention, Norwood, and Wood County Corporate Council. The discussion focused on the whole process involving a Chapter 51 emergency detention, information for transfer and the chain of events in order to achieve a better collaboration between all of the parties involved. It's quite it gets into something like that, there's a lot of people that are involved in that whole process, so we're just trying to streamline and smoothen out that process. Grand Rapids Police Department and Grand Rapids Police Auxiliary assisted with the 2016 World Water Ski Show Tournament hosted by the Ox Skiers at the Southwood County Park on September 9th through the 11th. Our duties included traffic control, crowd control, ID checks at the event. For those of you that had the opportunity to get out there, I think you can all agree that it was a pretty amazing event. It brought worldwide recognition to our community, and everyone associated with putting that event on should feel very proud of a pretty neat accomplishment. So from my aspect, I think it was a job well done. The Grand Rapids Police Auxiliary also assisted with the Choose to Reuse event on Saturday, September 17th, primarily with traffic and crowd control. Sergeant Drinkwine attended Honor Guard training hosted by the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department at the Woodland Church here in Wisconsin Rapids, September 26th through the 28th. This training was conducted to establish a multi-agency honor guard for Southwood County that will be utilized for special events in our area. We also had 6 officers from the Grand Rapids Police Department complete 4 hours of training in our new tracks crash report, which was up at North Central Technical College up in Wausau. That was September 27th and 28th. This training was conducted by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation to train and familiarize us, law enforcement agencies from around the state on the new Wisconsin crash report that's coming out January 1st of next year. It's Form DD 4000, which doesn't mean a whole lot, but the information that the state and federal government is going to be asking on crash reports is quite extensive and pretty common now. Typical crash report's about 4 pages, and now it's going to go to 6. So you can imagine the amount of additional information that's going to need to be collected when on any crash out there that's reportable. Vehicles in the department are doing well outside of normal routine maintenance, and anytime you want to stop in and say hi or just talk, feel free to stop by. Any questions?
Go ahead.
One thing on the Chapter 51, is that just for a person trying to take their own life?
Generally, that is, it's two-pronged. Either they're going to want to do harm to themselves or to others. So.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
Chris Skinner, Treasurer Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, residents. Good evening. For the month of September 2016, our ending balance cash on hand was $992,012. The receipts for the month, $12,739. Our disbursements for the month were $188,498. Our checking account consists of $105,231. Our investment account, $606,899. Our money market investment account, $314,643. Outstanding checks at the end of the month, $34,762. Any questions about the finances? I just want to mention, thank the board members for allowing me to attend my Municipal Treasurers Association Conference in the Wisconsin Dells, September 22nd, 23rd. Topics of discussion were W-2s and the 1099 process, the difference between Wisconsin filing and federal reporting. The Department of Revenue was there to talk about unclaimed property program. Ehlers and Associates were there to discuss the importance of having an audit and how to read your annual audit report. We had GASB updates. The Dane County Treasurer was there. She spoke to us about a typical calendar year for a treasurer and a clerk for when different reports need to be filed and when payments are due to us. And on Friday morning, we had an excellent speaker that talked about sharpening your mind and improving your memory. It was phenomenal. We all need that. Anything else?
Any questions? Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Item 6, approval of resolution 2016-27, the Shane Roos request to rezone from agricultural to R2 residential, 40.75 acres located at the southwest quarter of 48th Street South and Griffith Avenue.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution 2016-27.
I'll second.
Any questions? Patty, I believe there's one change or one addition to the resolution that needs to be made.
Right. If you could redo your motion only to the fact that the property hasn't actually been sold.
No.
That the property is, the final sale should be October 15th. So if you could.
How about if we just say the property located at the southwest corner?
Well, contingent of the sale.
Contingent of the sale, absolutely.
Because if it doesn't go through, maybe the next person doesn't want it to be sold that way.
Okay, I'll second that
Second's okay.
amendment.
Any other discussion on the board? And again, we'll have several times that if this is approved, that it has to come in front of the Planning Commission and the board for final approval. So there's a lot of things. Do you have a question, Bill?
No, I don't have a question. Just a comment on the motion. I am voting for the motion for various reasons. One of the things, a lot of people come in R2 and then not understanding what R2 is. And we do have the definition of R2 on our website that you could look at. But there's many people say, oh, I don't like all the trees being gone in the town, and I'd rather see those trees and houses, and I wish your board would, vote against it. And we really can't do that. We're here for the whole township and the betterment of the township, so I am voting for it.
Any other discussion?
I just want to
Go ahead,
say
Patty.
that I'm voting for it. I did see the preliminary mapping of the subdivision, and the lots are laid out quite well. He's going to look at maybe one area of a road of how it turns off into another area, but otherwise I was quite pleased. It mimics so many of the subdivisions that we have now. I think it's going to be a real nice attribute to the community.
Anybody else? If not, all in favor of the motion to approve, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? Motion is carried. Item 7, resolution 2016-29, Oak Creek Properties LLC rezoning application, agricultural to R2 residential, 220-acre lots, first parcel 07007828, located in the east one half of the northeast-northwest quarter, section 27, and second parcel 07007878, located in the east one half of southeast-north/northwest quarter of section 27. Is there a motion to that favor?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2016-29.
I'll second. Bill can second.
Motion Kathy, second Bill. Any board discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Resolution 2016-28, Oak Creek Properties certified survey map splitting off an existing 20-acre parcel and creating 4 1-acre parcels located in the east one half of the northeast/northwest of Section 27, parcel 07007828, and accept the road dedication as presented on the CSM. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion, Bill.
I'll second.
Second, Kathy. Board discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Thank you. Page 2. Item 9, approval of Sergeant Drinkwine attending executive training in Appleton, October 25th to the 27th. The approximate cost, $278.
I'll make a motion to approve Sergeant Drinkwine attending the executive training in Appleton.
I'll second.
Motion, Patty. Second, Kathy. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. Item 10, approval of Jewel Ninneman attending TIPPS, referred to as TIPS, user group meeting in Madison, November 9th and 10th, 2016. This is our court software. Training is for updates and enhancement to the software.
I'll make a motion to approve the training request.
And that's approximately $107, no more than that, $207 approximately.
I'll second.
That was motion by Bill, was that correct?
Yep.
And second by Kathy. Any more discussion?
Is there a fee to the, to this seminar? That's not on here, just the,
Registration fee.
yeah.
I don't know if there is. I don't think there has been in the past. I think our cost is mileage and the overnight stay as a result, but you could double check.
Double check. She doesn't have it listed, so I'm
You
just
don't have
saying
it
no.
listed, so I'm just assuming.
I can check with her.
I believe that's covered within our yearly subscription to it. At least it better be.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yes, I was like,
My only question was with mileage. This is on here in case she drives herself, but we also have a vehicle that she could opt to use and save on costs for us. Okay. So I'm fine with supporting the motion as it was, but I would hope she would pick whichever was the wisest decision to save us cost.
Any other discussion? Patty?
I was just, is this to learn an enhancement that has gone through, or is it, do you know?
I don't know, is that already on Mel or is that coming?
ongoing training for this program?
It's a program they're already using, but in talking with Jewel, if they're doing upgrades like any other system, so
Right,
it's to learn the new upgrades that are coming.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on the board?
I do have
Go
one
ahead.
more question now that I'm looking at the backside. So it does include an overnight stay, but it starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 3 p.m. or, yeah, 3 p.m. Is that correct? Why do we have an overnight stay? Do you know if there is more than what maybe we're missing some of?
I believe, doesn't registration start earlier than 9 though?
No.
Well, it shows 9 registration.
Or 9
It is at 9,
30
but
registration.
our policy, I know, is anytime it's over 60 miles, it includes an overnight stay from the night before, if it's over 60 miles away.
If it's a one day.
If it's over 60 miles, and they have to be there in the morning.
That's optional. I've not used that provision most of the time myself.
Okay.
But I guess we can follow up and Mel could double check everything on it if you want. But if you want to approve it as a trip, go ahead. And we did get a motion in a second, correct? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Item 11, accept resignation of Tom Arnold from the Planning Commission effective November 1. Tom and his bride brought some property up in another county, leaving our municipality, so obviously he needs to come off of the Planning Commission. Tom was very valuable to the Planning Commission as he had both real estate plus appraisals that brought a lot of insight to that. And I will be looking to fill his position with a similar type of person, and I have some feelers out now amongst several people to see if we can find the appropriate candidate to fill his position. His position is actually up in the spring, so the appointment would be a short appointment and then a reappointment if we decided after that. So, motion to accept his resignation.
I'll make a motion to accept Tom Arnold's resignation.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Patty? Did I not see you first? Were you first?
No, that's fine. I was just sighing because he is a wonderful asset to our plan commission, and I am really, truly going to miss working with him.
Yeah,
I'm very sad about it.
He said he served a long time.
He is also vice chair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, motion to accept his resignation has been presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? I might be opposed, but I'll say yes.
Yeah. We'd all be opposed, but he's going to resign.
Item 12 is discuss or approval of the community water resource utility mutual aid assistance agreement with the Village of Biron for mutual aid for needed services and equipment. They are required to reach out to their neighbors, obviously, and we are for one, and ask them if we would look at an agreement that would simply allow them, in the case of a disastrous need for them, to request the use of some of our equipment, such as end loaders and or graders if it was needed. That's the definition of what it is. If you want our attorney to look at it first, we certainly can pass it to our attorney first. Any discussions?
Yes. So they treat their own water. Where is their plant?
I don't believe they treat their own water. It goes to the wells. Well, they do have a well, but...
I know they have a well in the town of Grand Rapids.
Is it treated right there at the well? I'm not sure.
Just chlorinated.
Just chlorinated.
Right, don't they have an agreement with the city for treatment?
That's sewage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just believe that's all they do is chlorinate there.
I would like to have our attorney actually look at this, and we could gather some more information with our questions that we can still discuss.
Sure.
And find out those answers.
This is the first time I can recall seeing this brought to us, is it?
This is actually talking to their water chief. This is the first time they've been asked to seek mutual aid agreements for disastrous conditions.
Okay.
And basically, we wouldn't be doing anything other than what we have, the tools, which would be an end loader, a grader, and maybe and again, this would only be in emergency situations, because normal routine maintenance or a pipe burst, for that matter, would be done by contractors. So we'll have consensus is to have Nick take a look at it. I'll arrange for that.
Thank you. And add it to the next agenda, please.
Will do.
Thank you.
Item 13 is approval or denial of the bids for the Wisconsin surplus auction that we had. We had, what, 9 or 10 items on there? Do you want to go through them as long as you got them highlighted there?
Sure. Do you just want the high bid?
Item and the price.
Item and the
Good.
price?
The item is a rack of 44 folding chairs. High bid was $45.25. Another rack of 44 folding chairs, $45. A rack of 39 folding chairs, $215. A handheld radar gun, $120. 2 computer docking stations for $167. A Panasonic Toughbook, $196. Another Panasonic Toughbook, $101. A 2011 Chevy Tahoe, $10,800. 4 halogen scene lights, $35. And another handheld radar gun for $95.
Okay, those are the items that went through the auction. The actual sale is pending our decision tonight whether we accept any or all of these bids. And if we do, then the sale will go through. If not, any items can be taken off theirs and not sold. I did see that the one person bought all the chairs, so it's kind of, well, it's going to go to one place anyway.
Oh, so that was going to wonder about why low bid, really high bid.
Well,
Is there also a difference in this type of chair?
Well, the one rack of 39 is a much newer chair.
That's those
It's not the
metal.
ones that have been painted. And they're still the metal chairs. Any discussion on the board?
Are we pleased with the computer and the RAID? I have no idea what that goes for. I mean, does that seem?
For which?
The
Radar guns?
And the radar gun. I'm not sure about.
They're very, very old. They work, but they're the old, I used it, those type back in the 1970s.
Okay.
So whatever we can get for them, I think we're doing okay.
Okay.
And all this stuff is surplus to us because we replaced it with updated equipment, docking stations, the tough books, which are laptops basically that have the hard case on them, are the old style, and there's a newer style that we need to do for the CIS system that we're running on the county, so these were surplus to us.
And then when I was looking at the Kelly Blue Book for zip code 54494, as far as the vehicle goes, and I'm not really good at using the Kelly Blue Book, but I did run across some things in this area that were very similar, not exact, of course, but they were going for around, the most economical one was around $23,000, and the mileage was higher. So, but that's utilizing dealerships, so.
I was really impressed by that 10,000 bid. I thought that was a win for.
When I did the search on the surplus site before we put it on there, the similar vehicles were anywhere from $7,000 to $11,000 is what simply was happening at auction. This is even more than our Chargers were bringing us for the sale price, so it's a pretty good sale price, I think. Bill?
It's not. And the title don't have a police vehicle on it. It's just a municipal vehicle, right?
Right.
So,
I think it's good.
I'll make a motion to approve all of the items that were sold at the auction.
I got one more question on those scene lights.
I'll second so that then you can ask your question. And
Question?
The scene lights, are those from the old ones from the fire department? Is that what?
Yeah, they're the ones that we replaced on the ladder truck. They're the ones that originally came on the ladder truck. We replaced
That's
with the LED ones.
Yeah.
All the scene lights now are LED versus
ones, yep.
versus the halogen. They're much easier to run, less generator use, less on the vehicle.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Motion been made and seconded to approve the sale. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 I have an aye. Any opposed? Opposed. One opposed.
I'm opposed also.
I didn't hear you. Okay. 2 opposed. Thank you. Motion still carries 3-2. Stemmer disbursement vouchers. Any other questions? Hearing none. No questions. Item 15. Is there a, let's see, we have a operator license application for Sienna Dunlap Waldington and Natasha Nelson. The first one is for Bud's Corner Mart, and the second one is the store. These are one-year licenses. They've been vetted by is that the term they like to use now, vetted? By the police department and have been approved.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Motion Patty, second Kathy. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 I'm an aye. Any opposed? Opposed. Approval of the appointment of agent change for the store, 4010 80th Street South, to Natasha Nelson.
I'll make a motion to approve the agent change for the store.
Motion Kathy,
I'll second it.
second Dan,
So what's an
and
agent change?
who's the responsible person for seeing that everything is appropriately ran? And Mel, you also checked that, I assume?
Each liquor license is tied to an agent.
So it's for the liquor license. You don't go over there and make sure they sweep the store off.
No.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve?
I made the motion to approve.
Okay, and it was seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. Item 17, to discuss the start of a hiring process to add 1 to 2 replacement part-time snowblowers. Rick did indicate to me that he's short on people that are qualified to do snowblowing, and I'd like to see us post and have the Personnel Committee go through the process and look at some applications and see if we can find 1 or 2 persons to add on to it. These would be on-call only personnel and only used in larger storms. So we try to get the town plowed in 12 hours or less.
I'd like to make a motion that we look for 2 replacement part-time snowblowers to add to Rick to be used as he feels necessary.
Did you say 1 to 2?
2.
2.
Might as well get 2. We're going through the process, and then they're just...
Yep, I'll second.
Motion Dan, second Patty. Any further discussion?
How many do we have on the list right now? And on that list, how many respond to snow plowing?
I think Rick said he had no more than 2 that were responding
Right now.
right now.
How many do we have on the list?
We only have 2 on the list. That's all we have.
We've taken some off the list because they've not responded. And we also need to address the issue. We want to get at least 1 or 2 of them with CDL so that they can drive all the equipment rather than just small snowplows.
Would we train them? Would we train them? Would we do anything to,
If they need to be, yeah.
say, and that would qualify them for the CDL, so?
No, we would not. We have not had a practice of training people to get a CDL. We're looking, in my mind, and the planning and the personnel committee would have to decide this, but we typically want them to come with us already with a CDL, with experience plowing.
Usually what happens is they come with a CDL or they're capable of obtaining a CDL, but that's done on their end, not by us. I just have a quick question for the clarification of the process, and you might have answered most of this already. So we have a list of our part-time snowplower drivers, and we review that, and they will stay on that list as long as they are, reporting as needed, et cetera.
Similar to Mel's part-time.
And so the reason of getting these 2 is because we've lost some that are not reporting. They're off the list.
Right.
Okay.
And I believe one on that is list is not a CDL holder, just a standard driver that could run end loaders, but we really would prefer to have them with CDLs.
Okay.
Any other questions? We did get a motion in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Anybody opposed? And we'll get the process started and move along quick, hopefully before the snow flies. Monthly reports from committees, Public Works. We finalized the street marker painting that we were going to do this year. It's done. The roads are done. The roads are seeded that needed to be seeded. Not the roads, but the shoulders. And rain has been helping them grow. So we're pretty much waiting for the bills to come in from the county to update us for our budget, but I'm hoping that we're in okay shape. The equipment is good. We did have one issue with the new truck with the sensor giving us trouble, but that was fixed and under warranty, of course. So, ready to go. Any questions on Public Works? Yes, Patty.
Someone had asked me about the mailboxes. They were on Lake Road when they were put back up. They were wondering, they thought that they were closer to the road than they were before. So if someone is walking, let's say on the gravel in between the blacktop and the mailbox. The mailbox is hanging out too far. They felt that they were actually having to walk on the blacktop. Is that?
Well, what the federal law requires for the postal, you can download it from the Postal Service, is 4 to 6 inches off of the surface of the blacktop road. That's where they want their mailboxes. So if you put them there, then the vehicle is staying on the road to deliver rather than going into the gravel shoulder. So that's where they're set.
All right, I'll let them know. Thank you.
Okay.
But her question was, are they closer to the road than they were before?
I didn't measure them, but, well, I don't know that, Bill. Can't tell you that, but I could say that we had a bigger shoulder there before. So instead of a 3-foot shoulder, we had a 5-foot shoulder, if I remember right. So there was more room between that and the yellow marker. These should be the same distance as all our town roads that are all built to the 28-foot width road.
Okay.
Other questions? The Planning Commission, Patty, what did you do?
Oh, it was, we of course had the Shane Roche property and the Oak Creek properties that we had the public hearing. We also went through the current dog exemption renewals, and 2 years ago we had a particular resident that was getting complaints about nuisance of the dog barking and that. And I just want to report that this year there was only probably one report of a nuisance or a dog barking out of all the multiple dog owners here, and so they did a really nice job, the owners, of taking care of their animals and then also being considerate to their neighbors. We also spoke about the tiny houses, which Wood County is getting questions in regards to being able to build tiny houses. And so anyways, we are going to be putting some ideas together, and we'll meet again one more time, and then we'll forward that to legislative committee. And also, we did discuss the procedures for requiring dedications of road right-of-way. Our attorney did present some literature from other communities, and so we sort of picked through some of the things that we liked. Again, we're going to be talking about that at another meeting, at our next meeting, and then that would be also recommendation to legislative.
Okay. Any questions? Public safety?
No committee meeting recently. I'm looking to plan a meeting in the upcoming month or so.
WTA meeting. We just an announcement. We did lose our chairman due to death. Richard Witt from the, I believe it's the town of Rudolph. Is that
Yes.
Bill?
No. Supervisor.
He passed away after a very, very short illness, just a matter of a couple of days. He will be, he'd miss. He was a good leader for the committee. Anything else on that?
At the last WTA meetings, what they discussed was roads and the grading of roads, things like that.
And the expense of building roads, if you remember, huh?
Well, that was another meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Public buildings, I believe you met, right?
Yeah, we did meet, and we're putting together our list for the upcoming budget.
Economic development.
We did not meet.
I skipped over the airport commission. I checked it off prematurely, so apologize for that. But the airport did enter into contract with a gentleman from the Pittsville area to farm low growth crops on the airport. Approximately 120 to 180 acres will be used. It'll save the airport commission over $7,000 in mowing expenses every year. Plus, we will receive a rental for the first 5 years. The second 5 years, the airport commission will receive a rental and a share of the proceeds of the sale of the crops. It's a pretty reasonable type agreements. Several of airports that are around the area also use similar process too. And it does take away from our 1 zillion grasshoppers that we have out there and the tumbleweeds that are pretty heavily. So we saw a lot of traffic in the airport due to the development of the golf course down in the village or township of Rome. Several, I would say there was 18, I believe it was, corporate jets flew in for that, plus a reasonable amount of other traffic. Jet fuel sales are increasing dramatically. The Airport Commission is needing to look at what do we need to do for the next 2 years to assist in the making the airport ready to accept all the original or the type of aircraft that would be coming in and the sheer volume that would be coming in over starting in June of this coming year. The one course will be officially open, and the following year the second course I believe will be open. And there's talks of 2 or 3 more courses there. I can tell you that the developer also just bought 6,000 acres of land down in the township of Big Flats. So there's a lot of activity going on with our airport that we're needing to be able to assist the public and a great benefit to the community. A lot of the pilots that will bring in these corporate people are staying overnight. They're staying in the meet. They're staying wherever and enjoying our community. They're even going out to Misty's Menu. They've already told us that's their favorite place to go for breakfast. I can't blame them. But other than that, any questions on the airport?
I was wondering about Biron and the town of Rome and their participation in the commission.
Rome has sent us a letter. We've asked Rome to get back. They've sent us a letter. I have not seen it yet, asking us to consider giving them a spot on the table, but a non-voting member status. And we calculated that based upon our equalized value that it would approximately be $21,000 or $22,000. I forget what the number is right offhand. That they are willing to bring into the Airport Commission as a donation to be used for future construction projects. So we'll act up on that letter as soon as our next meeting is posted and whatever. Village of Biron, as you probably heard at the meeting, Rick Coco from Rome is going to attend one of the meetings, or he did attend just recently. I have not heard the results of that, but our initial conversation felt favorable that Biron would join back into the Airport Commission, which they were a member on for many years. Actively researching that. We've also asked the Township of Saratoga to consider becoming involved in it, and that's in discussion phase with them also. Go ahead.
I did have a conversation with a pilot and a couple gentlemen who did fly in to golf, and they were very pleased with the staff at our airport, and they talked to them about some possible improvements, and they will definitely be back next year. And these guys have the ability to fly in and out and play golf, and so it's very positive feedback from the activity that's going on out there.
Recycling solid waste, no?
Yes, we had our Tues to Reuse on the 17th. It was very successful. The dumpster helped out a lot. We paid $150 for the dumpster, and I think in the end it's only going to cost the town $38 or something like that. Anyways, we collected $187 toward that dumpster by people bringing in stuff that was not recyclable, or it was an old couch or something that nobody would want or even recycle. So we set a price and we got $187, and the total weight of what was in that dumpster was
Just over a ton, right?
just over a ton, 2,200 pounds, which was $52.
What do we have for tires this year?
$21 in tires we took in, and we took in $1,180 worth of TVs.
And that's just turned over to ODC, correct?
That's all turned over to ODC. Very successful. And I will have a written report for you. I have it on my computer, but I was busy the last couple of days, so I'll send you each a report.
Yeah, geez, I wonder where you were. Same place I was, huh?
Yes.
Legislative committee, or I should ask if there's any questions of Bill?
I guess I would, just as far as the choose to reuse, and I can do it now at the end, I just want to commend Patty and Bill for, I talked to Rick, he said it was cleaned up phenomenally. I was down Friday night trying to help him set up, but by the time I got there, it was done, and wasn't able to participate on Saturday, but great job, heard a lot of good comments about it, so I know you guys spent a lot of time there.
We had between 12 and 16 helpers.
So
Great.
Lots of people.
Personnel committee?
We had a meeting a week or two ago. We met with office staff. We wanted to follow up to the workload, the essential functions that are expected of them. They shared some concerns and some options and ideas for consideration that we'll bring to the budget meetings.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions of them? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 19, reports from individual board members. Bill, do you have anything?
No, anyone, except I attended the 72 county on highways, and I thought it was very fruitful that every county is getting involved in it, considering the towns, villages, and cities. The only trouble is I don't think there was anybody there from any of the villages in Wood County.
One town member is all I saw. Well, actually, two. But the Marshfield was represented by their chamber. It wasn't the actual the city itself. But overall, there was 4 of us there, and the averaged 26 town people to one city was kind of the averages. But our voice is being heard. The governor is telling us she's going to raise our road payments back to us. Reasonable. We'll see how far it goes in the next budget. It's things what you can always promise, but getting it's another thing sometimes. Dan, anything else?
Just one thing I wanted to add. I had a call, and I wanted to do it to make sure I mentioned it to Don. And they had an EMS call at their home. Our EMS responded along with United and our officer, and they were thoroughly impressed with the way the staff handled their father and was courteous to the family members on that, and hats off to you, Don, and Bob Hyatt for the training and what those guys do, because it is just a phenomenal job. So,
anything else, Dan?
nope, I'm done.
I just want to say thank you to the auxiliary for their help at the Choose to Reuse, and then also Public Works for their help making sure that the garage was cleaned up so that we could put the TVs in there during the interim. And then also the volunteers that helped with the Choose to Reuse. So, and thanks for stopping by. Dan.
Was that moral support? Is that what it was?
Yeah, which was greatly appreciated. His heart was there.
Kathy, anything?
A couple things I just wanted to address. One, the chief already had mentioned the World Water Ski Show tournament that was held at the lake. It was very impressive. I want to thank the auxiliary for helping out. They were there very early on those mornings. The skiing started quite early. And to thank the aqua skiers and any volunteer who was there helping to make that show a success. It was a great weekend, and it did give a lot of recognition to our community. And I also want to give some advance appreciation or recognition to our election workers, our office staff, our clerk, our treasurer, because these next few weeks ahead of us, it's going to be quite hectic here in the office, and particularly on election day. And I just want to thank you guys ahead of, in advance of it, of the extra work you're going to be putting in, and appreciate what you do.
Yes.
Thank you. The only thing I wanted to mention tonight, my hats off to Mel with the speed signs being put up all around the speed sign trailer that we occurred from, was it Medford we got that from? Or Merrill? Merrill. We purchased a used one. It's been several key spots already. Just for the public, when it does blink red at you, you're going too fast.
Oh, have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It blinks red at me all the time.
I thought that was just to say hi.
But it's in key spots. It's down on 48th Street, so if you want to check your speedometer, try to go 45 and see what it does. And thanks again. And it'll be moved all around, so if it hasn't hit your neighborhood, it will eventually. And we have requests for Grove Avenue. We have requests for Wazeecha Avenue. We have requests for Lake Avenue, and there's a lot of areas that we'll put it up, and hopefully at least it brings attention to people, remind them that you're driving too fast. Chris, do you have anything tonight?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Lisa?
No, I do not.
Okay. If not, item 20 is the public input comment. Again, this is the recap. Anybody wishing to speak to the board for another 2 minutes, each with the public comment period limited to no more than 16 minutes. Anybody wish to speak to the board anymore? Mr. Hetman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Patty. I took a look at those mailboxes down there, and first thing I noticed, they looked like they were in quite a ways. I got out and took a look down the line, pasted off, and then I went to the website, and where they show a curb section, Arnie, they say 6 inches off, but beyond that, it says contact the U.S. Postal Service, so I did. And the gal that called me back says, well, they don't want the postal truck getting out there so they get stuck. But as long as they're on a solid surface, they're okay with that. The way it's set up now, the post office truck is going to have to stop encroaching on the travel lanes. And I'm guessing you're going to have an issue when you're plowing that thing.
No, I don't think so, but I mean...
Well, just take a look at it.
Just ride a bike on it.
Yeah, just take a look. I don't think there's any reason why they got to be in that far. So who put them in there anyway?
Some of the residents put their own in.
They're all in a line. I mean, they're perfect.
Some we put in according to the specs that we've always been putting mailboxes in.
Okay.
It's the same distance on every road, Airport Avenue, Woodrock Avenue, it's all the same.
Do we have a process for personal miles? Like when somebody takes this vehicle and goes on a trip for training or something like that, do they have to sit in the motel all the time, or can they go to supper, or can they go to the mall, or?
We consider reasonable. What is reasonable? What could you reasonably expect a person to do?
Okay. So we don't expect them to go out there and sit in one spot?
No. Obviously, you know that they're going to go to a restaurant, and it may not be the one at the facilities, because that may be not the food that they're looking for. They may be looking for Chinese, and that's a couple miles away.
Okay. Go to China. And I did notice that big plane you talked about, so I stopped down to the airport there, and I noticed that somebody was out there trying to pull a little, what was it, like a Sky King plane, a twin engine, I don't know, 8 passengers or something. Mm-hmm. Had a John Deere tractor hooked up to it, trying to pull it up to the gas pump, but it wasn't working. Yeah. And the pilots were kind of wondering. But
we have an old tug, but we're looking. Our next board commission meeting, we'll be looking at some used equipment that we found that would solve the issue real quick.
Did we get the fuel truck?
We didn't buy a fuel truck yet, but that's on our agenda for next meeting, which would be next Tuesday. It'll be posted here shortly, but we're going to have an additional meeting due to that. Okay, anybody else wishing to speak? If not, we'll take the 21. We've already added one item to the agenda. Is there anything else that board members want at this time? If not, contact us as the month goes on. We'll add what you desire, if it's reasonable and prudent. And item 22, motion to adjourn is in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Kathy, motion, second by, is that Patty? There are a couple voices, so I would call it yours. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, public, for attending the meetings.